back again. It's Inspired by the Gift. My journey is different. We're here with Robert Bourne, athletic trainer, owner, CEO, trainer, i.e. guru in the Inland Empire. He has Rharebreed Academy, which is a training facility to help young men and women in all aspects of life. How you doing, sir?
How you doing, man?
Mr. Robert Bourne, my guy.
Yes, sir.
Been together about 9-10 years, somewhere around there.
Yes, sir.
We're just going to go into this. He's going to share a little bit of his story and how he can inspire you, but you'll understand the man behind the myth of CEO, Mr. Robert Bourne, ex-NFL, ex-CFL player. How you doing, sir? Bring it in. Bring it in.
I'm good, man. Thanks for the long introduction. Just to tell you a little bit about my story, I went through some things in life, apart with this journey of playing football, and I found God through that journey. I built my confidence and my faith very strongly because I had a lot of ups and downs. One of the things that I'm just going to start at the dawn of everything. I would say one of the things that really was hard when I was coming up was getting noticed.
Yeah.
When I say that, I mean like you had to really be a dog. You know, you really had to put up stats. Like stats mattered. And it was just funny. Ironically, I was talking to a coach last night, and he was saying that stats don't matter. And I'm just like
what?
What? Stats, tape don't matter? How is that possible? I mean, I just remember
we had to be in the newspaper to even be noticed.
Right, you had to do something special. You know, like 100 yards plus on the ground or a couple interceptions to get noticed. And it's just the game has changed, man. It seems like it's more about what scholarships you have, and that's how you get the stars, and that's how you get the attention. And I'm just like, man, why can't we get back to the old ways? You know, but. You know, I know it's a new age, it's a new athlete, it's a new breed, and it's mind-blowing. But at the same time, I get it, you know. So, but
with your training facility out here in Upland, California, how are you going to put that old school and intertwine it with the new school?
Well, to be honest with you, Wash, man, what we focus on, and you know, first and foremost, is we believe in the work.
Yeah.
The work will set these athletes free. And there's been athletes that have put in the work, because I get this comment from parents all the time. Well, we put in the work, but are you putting in the right work? Yeah. But there are athletes that have put in the right work and still have not gotten a scholarship out of high school, maybe had to go the JC route to get noticed. And but my thing is, I mean, God has a plan for everyone.
Yes.
You know?
Yes.
Everyone's path is different. So I think that people need to trust their own process at time and not listen to everyone else and what they can do for them.
But see, that's hard because then they see, okay, well, it worked for this kid. He's the same size.
Right.
So what am I doing wrong, you know, in my process, even though I'm working harder to try to get there?
And you know, and I had a conversation with a few coaches about that, Wash, and I'm going to say, man, that they don't care. It's a business, man.
It's about money now, man.
It's about them saving their jobs.
Yeah.
And you're absolutely right. So you offer an 8th grader, but you have a senior or a junior that has great tape, and he's barely on boards. You know, I mean, I kind of put the spotlight back on the high school coaches. Like, and this ain't no knock to any high school coach, but what are you doing? Yeah. Are you making the phone calls? Are you putting your kids out there? Or do you even believe that your kids can play at that level?
Well, I would tell you this. A lot of college coaches, they'll follow you, but they won't ask you questions about your kids. Even if you tell them, I got this kid, blah, 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 they'll go to the handlers.
True.
Before they go to some
high school coaches.
Before the high school coaches. Well, you can have conversations. This kid is good. This kid did this. Blah, blah, blah. Watch this. Look at this film. I'm going to see you in his huddle. Okay, I'm going to call the head coach. So it's, but I'm going to call the handler. What 707 did he play for?
I'm going to tell you why, though. I think that there's been times where I've talked to coaches and they've said, like, oh, I went by the school, but the coach didn't even mention this kid. And it's like, why wouldn't he mention that kid? Like, it's one of his top players, you know? And it's like, I think that they want the real, but don't get me wrong, I can't speak for every, I don't want to call myself a handler because I don't charge, but I'm saying for every trainer, every 7-on-7 coach out there, you got to be honest, and some of the coaches, they're not honest, and they they fluff the guys up, make them seem like there's something special.
So they rather go to the handlers and talk to the handlers.
I don't want to say that. I will say that most coaches want to talk to the high school coaches, but they come to, and for me, they come to me and ask me, like, well, what you think about who they got? And I'll tell them, like, they got this kid, they got this kid, they got this kid. He's a hard worker, blah, 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 blah.
Mm-hmm.
So, but you need to go talk to his high school coach.
Yeah,
I always put it back on the high school coach because
yeah.
I don't want no beef with the high school coaches.
Yeah.
I show my respect that way.
Yeah.
So
through all of this, what you're dealing with day-to-day basis in the training facility, working kids out, what has made you keep going through kids getting looked over? Let's go back a little bit to your journey. Let's go back to where you started, and let's bring that.
You mean started with Rharebreed or started myself?
Both.
Okay.
Both. Because that, what you went through, allowed you to make Rharebreed.
Right. Well, I have to.
Well, you and T-Brack, I got T-Brack some love too.
Yeah. I mean, T-Brack, Terrell, all of them, man. All the guys that are involved in Rharebreed, Daryl, and yourself, But I think it came down to us just giving them the raw and the real. As long as you got somebody in your life that's telling you the truth and where you're at in your game, that is a big component to your level every year. Every year you need to level up. Every year you need to get better. And I think that we've done that with a lot of kids. Is we told them the truth. Hey, man, you need to work on this, this, and this. But I'm gonna be honest. 4 or 5 years ago, Wash, it wasn't even about training.
No.
It was more about who can do what for me.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So. And then it came down to, are you going to be loyal to your trainers or the people that's helping you, that's been helping you before all the offers came? And, a lot of stuff happened. A lot of stuff, people disappeared, people went in the other direction, and that's fine. But I would say, like, within my own journey, we had, what you want to call him a handler, we had a guy by the name of Bob Pleasant. Bob Pleasant had the Inland Empire and put us on the map. He took us to college camps. And I'm trying to fill those shoes today. Like, I'm trying to help as many of our kids out as possible. We might want to stop.
You might want to stop.
Okay.
He probably tuned it out.
So Bob Pleasant, he put kids on planes and he flew them out to universities and got the kids noticed at football camps. So I try to do the same thing. I try to get kids on a bus or get kids on a plane and take them out. What I'm starting to notice is I'm getting away from the West Coast because the West Coast, they are slow in the process of looking at our kids.
Yes.
But what's going down today is there's a lot of 7-on-7 organizations. Then there's some 7-on-7 organizations with more clout than others. So what's happening is when you have several classes, they're going to offer their 8th, their 9th, and their 10th graders before they offer your juniors and your seniors. And it's sad that it's like that. But it's like that, and it is nerve-wracking. It's unfair. But I kind of thrive off of my faith. Like, man, we will make it. We just got to keep putting in the work. Do y'all feel the
passion up in this thing? He's so passionate about it, and he's pushing it so hard because he does. It's like, I don't understand it, but I get it.
Right.
It's not right, but I get it.
Yeah.
This whole procedure is totally different.
You got to put yourself in the college coach's shoes, Wash. And I say this, man.
Yes, about the job.
This is how they feed their families.
Yeah.
So if they gamble on a kid that is not it, then it hurts them.
A lot of 4 or 5 stars that wasn't it.
You right.
Let's be true.
No, you're absolutely.
I mean, everybody's had a different path, but there are some guys you see it in the articles all day, every day.
They're not panning out.
So I think it should be a new kind of system of assessment.
You know what? I agree. Or we need to get through to the writers and let them know, hey, man, you guys got to really do your homework, man. Because one thing about, I would say, Rharebreed is that we're able to see these kids when they're at their peak and then when they're going through adversity.
Yeah.
And the training that we provide takes them through adversity to see which way you're going to go. Are you going to accept this work or you want the easy way? Are you going to walk away? And I think that I'm not saying that we're the only training company they can come to, but I think that when you put them through a rigorous training regimen, you find out what they're made of. And that's what they're going to do at the next level. Yeah. So, and that's what I talk to these college coaches about. Like, look, you don't know what I know because I'm in the trenches with these kids, But the biggest thing that's been bothering me, man, is the size. We got some dudes that are not 6 foot that can go.
And you see it on college right now, the dudes are, like Ply said it, The guys making the plays are the
small guys. The small guys are making the
So
plays.
why in the East Coast can they see this stuff on the Midwest, but over here
that's the $1 million question, to be honest with you. I'm trying to figure that out myself. Like the West Coast, Pac-12, Mountain West, WAC conference, they're not looking at those kids. But in the Midwest and the South, that's what they're going to get. So I really think it comes down to our kids running track and putting up those track times, because like, I don't know if you remember, LSU had a receiver running back, Holiday. Remember Holiday?
True Holiday? Was
I don't
it True?
Remember his
True
first
Holiday?
name, man. But it was Holiday. I think he wore number 2 at LSU. He was fast, but he was only like 5'5", 5'6". But we have to put up these times in order to, not give them a reason not to offer us, man. Or not to give our kids a look.
Well, like you said, I feel the passion, I feel the energy, I feel the love for not just for football, but just for every kid to strive and make better for their life.
I care, man. But it's bigger than me caring.
It's always bigger. It's always bigger. And what have you learned spiritually dealing with thousands of people, man, on a weekly basis? Jazz take care of the financial stuff. And you got the household, right? You got all that. You got your bills. You have everything. Then your payments, and then you have the facility of everything.
All right, I'm gonna start here.
How do you spiritually stop from losing your head and going ball like me?
When we first started Rharebreed, we had a baby. We had little Carson. And it was tough trying to do the books, trying to help Jasmine with the books, trying to keep everything in line.
Now, how many years right now have you been in existence?
10 years total. 10 years total. Actually going on 11, 3 months. So it's been rough, man, being a black African-American owner and, just trying to make everything gel and then also learn along the way. Yeah. But also, what I've been trying to do, and I learned, from you and from other people, is you can't lose relationships over people's decisions. Yes. So I've grown tremendously, man. I'm kind of like, I'm a servant of God now, and I'm going to do what people want me to do for them. Yeah. And then I'm going to leave it alone. Right. I'm going to leave it alone.
Because at the end of the day, we can't control your decisions. Right. Only thing we can do is enhance you as a person to maybe see those decisions wasn't good or they were bad. But then I spiritually understand when you say I'm a servant. Yeah. Because that's what we're here to do. Right. We're here to help others to please God. Right. It's not about us.
It's not about me no more. I played. I did my time. And that's what I had to learn, I had to learn that these athletes will never be you, Rob. Yeah. So your journey, how you found God, they got to find their own way.
There you go.
And I had to realize that, man. And
trial and error.
Trial and error, man. But when I say I was passionate, I would put in work 7 days a week. I had a great mentor, Charles Collins.
Coach C.
Coach C used to, when I first met him, it was at the Oregon State
I
football
met him at
camp.
Manual Arts years ago.
Yeah, that's what he coached. He coached there. I met him.
We take the bus to go see him trade.
I met him at Oregon State, man, and he noticed me right away because I was going against some of his top ballers at that camp, man. And what he's like a father to me, man. What he put on to me was more like he gave me a sense of confidence that I never had. Like,
so basically, you planted the seed in that you still have today.
Right. And that's that swag, that's that dog, that's that you can't move quicker than me. You won't outwork me, So do we have any forefathers in this area like that? Or I would say in Southern California like that today? Yeah, there's a few, but there's not many.
There's not many.
A lot of people have simplified the way of making it out. And that is a big issue, man.
Well,
because it's not
that's
fair.
The new generation. Because they want the quickest way to get success without putting in the work.
Right.
Or understanding what it entails for adversity.
Right.
That's why we have divorce early. We have grandmothers now at 45. Right. We have kids having kids. Right. And then they're making decisions based off of what social media is telling them to do. Right. There's no big mamas. There's no.
I hear you. But I'm gonna even take it a step here. Do you still communicate with the kids that you've helped along?
Oh, of course.
I'm talking about weekly. While they're in college, do you still talk to them? To me, that's important. Yeah. because they're still little boys.
I send them verses. I send them a scripture. I send them, like Mark just called me yesterday. We talk. I mean, I send stuff to Jaden. Dollars called. Well, Jerome just called me 2 days ago.
Right.
You know, but so that communication, Perkins just sent me some text the other day. Those communications, they stop by. I mean, a lot of parents, a lot of people, like my wife would say it. Dang, these kids just keep calling. They keep calling. They coming by.
Well, you were a big impact, man.
And because it's not about me.
It's not about you.
I love this. Even the kids I've had at Etowanda, I still communicate.
Right.
I train some of their cousins and nieces or nephews or whatever.
Right.
Like, but that's the thing. What I always tell, like I tell Jacob Naves, when you're doing it to please God and don't want the accolades or you don't want nothing from them.
But it's hard. It's hard because it's a business. This is where I was at years ago. Okay. I had to take a step back.
Yeah, let's get into that a little bit.
It's a business, but you care.
Yeah.
And a lot of people, I think, misconstrued my love for them and business, you know. And I was trying to feed my family too, but at the same time, man, I care. I don't care about high school. I'm gonna tell you straight forward. I don't care about how you perform in high school. You're supposed to perform. Kids ask me all the time, "You coming to the game this weekend?" No, I'm not going to the game. Why are you not going to the game? I look at football in high school different from the average person. I played at a high level, so I see things that are wrong, and I start to critique little things that the coaches are doing wrong or the kids are doing. I don't have fun. I don't enjoy it anymore. So I don't go to games. Send me your tape and send me a bad copy of what you did wrong as well. So I kind of take a different approach to it now, but I kind of detach because I have a son and a daughter, and I wasn't giving them the time and the love.
Yeah, you told me
that they needed
because you were putting too much into
the business. And don't get me wrong, bro. It helped the business. It blew up. Business is doing very well, but it hurt my family.
Well, this is I will always say that you can separate the two. Like I talk about carnal and spirituality. The carnal body is something that we use on a daily basis to keep going.
Right.
The spiritual nature is what we do to please God, but we take the carnal body and use that also. So the spiritual is what lives, the carnal is what dies. So what am I have to do to control that body? Is live a spiritual life that controls everything, and mentally I have to get myself into a place. How did Jesus do this? How did Jesus walk? Did he get mad about certain things he did? He can't control.
That's what I had to learn.
So if I can control my body by my spiritual nature of being humble, meekness, kind, loving at all times, even though I might get vexed and frustrated, doesn't mean that my reaction has to take my body to that place. So as you said earlier, talking to Jerome Wilson, you know the situation. Talking to Sean Dollars, you know the situation. When kids come and tell you, man, that man didn't care. That man he used us for his brand. These are kids. These are college kids. I'm not saying no names, but I'm being very honest. We know the difference now. We know who really gives a doggone and don't want nothing from us.
Well, it's funny because a lot of those kids that I lost.
You never lost them.
I never lost. I realized that. I realized that 2 years ago. I never lost them.
I don't own these kids.
No. When I lost them, I thought that our relationship changed.
No.
But they still got love for old Coach Rob, man, and you know, they come by the spot, by the facility with open arms, man, and it's amazing. You know,
because they grow, and that's why I try to tell everybody as a human being, especially men. Me and Coach Porter have this talk all the time. If they go and train with someone else, and if they go and play with somebody else, they'll be back.
If you were giving them the good.
Yes, if you were giving them the good.
And if they realize that you really care for them.
Yes.
I agree.
Because at the end of the day, I'm only 2% of their life. Really. Their parents got 98%.
Absolutely.
I'm only 2%. But I just want to plant that seed. Plant that seed. Everybody's not going to maneuver the way we want them to maneuver. Because at the end of the day, they're going to die by themselves between them and God. I can't put you in the grave and say, oh, I control Robert Bourne.
Right.
I can't live your life for you. Lord, protect him. Lord, guide him. I'm always going to be here.
Right.
I'm glad you're doing well.
Right.
You make some bad decisions, but I'm glad you understanding them.
I just wanted people, I just want people to know that I care. It's a business. Because me caring sometimes makes people, well, man, what kind of discount can you give me? You know, and that's hard on a business, man. If I can't do that, you know what I mean? I've grown big time with that part of me having a big heart. I've grown to say no. I got to the point where I can say no, like, I can't do that, man. It's a business, you know? If you want the training, it costs this much.
Because you know your worth.
Right.
You know your worth.
But I think that sometimes, you know, it's your consciousness and your spirit telling you, like, you need to help this kid.
Because God is your blessing at the end of the day. Because
Right.
you're not doing it for you. Because the kids, the family's taken care of.
But how do you?
I'll tell you this. Say it
How do
again.
you help a kid, but then realize later that maybe they were using you? And
It's
you
always
swallow
a
it?
using.
Okay, do you swallow it as they use me, or do you use it as, or do you say it as, well, just charge it to the game?
Yeah, you do.
That's what I've been
Because
doing.
your heart is what God's looking at.
Okay,
He's going to judge them in due time.
okay.
Your heart. If I can have a righteous heart and I know, okay, you know what? I know you use me. Okay. Next person. Next person. Because
Right.
it's a billion people in this world.
Right.
That one person using you is not going to cause you to lose yourself.
You right.
Stop. 3, 2, 1.
Well, I think it was like this. You can have the way that you present your business.
Mm-hmm.
You can have the way that, you know, oh, I got to survive. I got to do this. I got to do that. Now, at the end of the day, what is God telling you? If you say you a God-fearing man, then you walk with the Lord's answer and his word being truthful, then worrying about your business.
Right.
Because he will sustain you when your heart is righteous.
Right.
I'd rather have 20 years in the game than have 5 years
Right.
and my business is going down to hell.
Right.
And I don't have, what, 10 clients?
Right.
So sustainment is what you're talking about. Because when sustainment comes, one of those kids going to come and they're going to be like, oh, hey, thanks, Coach Rob. Thanks, Coach Rob. Thanks, Terrell. I just signed a contract for $50 million, and I'm going to give you $1 million of it.
I ain't looking
no,
for
no,
that.
no. I'm just saying. No, but that's God's blessing.
No, you're right.
And you're not looking for that.
It's happened before. Though.
Yes.
I've heard stories of
Yes.
people, being blessed like
The
that.
righteous heart.
Yeah.
And that's the difference. And it's not about the money. It's saying, dang, you got a successful family. You got 3 kids, a nice house. I planted the seed.
Right.
I did what God told me to do.
And that's awesome to watch. You know, one thing that's going on with a lot of these college kids today is that some of them are getting what's it called? Therapy.
Therapy. Yeah,
Like
the mental
sports
health.
therapy. Oh, mental health is big right now, bro.
Yeah.
And you know why? One thing that our families did good with us is they taught us how to be men. They put us through a struggle, an obstacle early to where we knew how to get out of. But today's generation,
No.
their families are so successful
Yeah.
that
They don't have time.
They don't know,
have
man.
time.
They don't know how to get out of the situation.
Yeah.
So what's happening is they're
Depression.
taking all depression. They're taking all this stress on in college.
Suicidal.
Right.
All of that.
And
Yeah.
what I'm hearing a lot of the ex-athletes that we train is they're doing therapy, and I'm
Yeah.
like, that is amazing. I should have did therapy in college because it was times where I wanted to blow my head off, you know.
Well, because remember the word says what? Generations will get weaker and wiser.
Right.
So, yes, they're weaker to the understanding of going through adversity,
Right.
but they're wiser and, okay, let me go to therapy. I see what my boy did. Let me go reach out to this person. You know, kids that call all the time.
Right.
Man, this is what I'm going through. I was like, dude, it's 12 o'clock at night. It's 3 o'clock over there.
But
I'm
you
going
see
through
that?
it. I'm
but
going through it.
But you see that,
Yeah.
man?
Yeah.
I've been there.
Yeah.
I've been there, and
Yeah.
I know what they're going through.
But it's
man.
like a weekly basis between, not just with the kids from that special class. These are other kids still going through.
Yeah.
You know, when they say, and I'm watching some kids on social media, and I'm saying to myself, oh, you're doing well, but you're going through some stuff. So I'm going to pray for you. You're God's child at the end of the day. I'm gonna pray for you, but I'm always here for you.
Well, one thing that you've always had more than any person that I know is your patience.
Yeah,
You have great patience. My little girl brought me some patience.
Girls would do that
my
to
little
you.
girl brought me some
I think
patience.
my divorce will be paid.
You're a fool. That'll do it too.
Yeah,
though.
that
That'll do it
will.
too. But no, the
12 court dates.
the patience part is huge with kids and athletes. And sometimes people are like, I don't know how you do this when they see me training a 4 or 5 year old, and it's tough. But you got to make it fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think that once they start to get older, you want them to understand.
Yeah.
You got to train a certain way, you got to think a certain way, but it has to be fun to them.
Yeah.
And I think that in the past with our 7-on-7 team, we made stuff unfun for kids.
I didn't make it on fun.
I made it unfun. But
Don't say we on that one.
I just wanted
just
wanted a sense of urgency, man, because I know what it's like at that next level. And Sean Dollars has hit me recently. I would say before the season started, and he told me, man, you was right.
Yeah.
These workouts ain't no joke.
Yeah.
And they don't play. I said, everything I was preaching from when you was a young buck, man, yes,
But
they
you
don't
plant
play.
the seed.
Yeah.
And see, we don't see the seed grow until they have to go through the watering in their different aspects of life.
Right.
Like I told, I was talking to EJ, same thing. He's like, Dad, you was right. I said, only thing I did was plant the seed. You had to go through it.
Right.
So that's what we have to understand. They're not gonna get it when we say it.
They got to go through it.
They gotta go through it.
Well, that's like Kendall Greer. Remember Kendall Greer?
Oh, Lord.
Man, Kendall's dad used to be like, man, he ain't listening to me. And I used to tell him, Charles, he hear you. But until he get on his own, he don't hear you. I said, but everything you put in him, he hear you.
Yeah.
And then he told me his second year at NAU, he said, Rob, you was right, man. He said, my son called me and he was really emotional and upset, but he heard everything I was saying.
Yeah.
And I said, ain't that awesome?
That's crazy. That's what we're here to do.
Right.
Because it's going to click sometime in their life.
Yep.
Because at the end of the day,
gonna be like a
it's
switch.
their life.
Right.
It's not our life.
It's going to be a switch that turns on.
And it turns on, it turns on.
Right.
And that's the greatest thing. He's like, you know what? You got it. Like Dollars called, we was crying on the phone, all this stuff, and the situation happened. And I was like, you got it. He's like, yeah, I did. I understand it now.
He's growing up.
It's the spiritual understanding.
Right.
I would want you to grow spiritually before you grow physically.
Right. And I'm going to touch on, in my career, I had some injuries.
Oh, boy. Who's
And
telling?
my injuries, they really messed my head up because I thought it was the end of the world. And I want to tell you guys that it's never over. It's all about how you get your head back right and your spirit right. Then your physical lasts. Because the physical will bounce back. The body will heal itself.
Yeah.
But you got to get strong from within, from within.
Yeah.
And when I broke my first leg against USC, it didn't really snap until 8 weeks later. So after the season. And then I broke my second leg in the pros, and it was just like, what are you trying to teach me? So I really think that God got me where I need to be.
Yeah.
And that's helping these kids, but helping whoever wants my help.
Yeah. And be the willing vessel and the willing servant, because at the end of the day, what you taught 10 years ago, 4 years ago, 3 years ago, whatever it may be, it's planting the seed for it to grow later to where they come back and you see the fruit.
Right.
You see the fruit. That's why we read the word.
Right.
The word don't come back void, does it?
Nope.
Because it's spirit. And it's God. It's the truth. But we have to humble ourselves to the process. Trust it, understand it, and gain wisdom from it.
See, I think at a lot of times, we used to say that a lot, trust the process.
But there's wisdom in the process.
Man. But I think that a lot of people took it as,
Trust what we're doing.
Trust what we're doing.
Yeah.
No, I mean, the main part of it was get to your peak ability. And I promise you, everything will move out. The universe will get out your way, man. But I just think that a lot of kids and a lot of parents do not understand this process, man. And it's sad to watch, but I just try to be honest and keep it real with them, man. And
Well, I will always say, you probably want, I know you did the seminars and all that. You might want to start doing that even more.
yeah.
Because
Well, that's why we started up Beyond the Breaks podcast to kind of tell the behind the scenes of what goes on through our heads, man. And, you know, we're going to continue doing that. And, you know, you continue to do this, man, and keep enlightening these young men because, man, it's
a war out there.
It's a war out there. It's a war in your head, too.
Yeah. Because it's all spiritual. When it's all said and done, this body dies.
Yeah.
If I am not, it's just like, okay, you go through a big injury. I got 2 screws in my doggone ankle. I got knee surgery. You go through that. Is this body gonna go to heaven with me? Nope. All these screws gonna be sitting in that doggone coffin. Everything's gonna be bones. But at the end of the day, what is going to live?
Right.
And what is going to haunt my kids?
Right.
My spirit.
Right.
The seeds I planted. The love of God. And that's why I think when people do their thing and how they do recruiting and how they raise their kids, okay, that's how you do it.
Right.
But that kid gonna be 40 years old one day. That kid gonna be 50 and he gonna tell you about yourself. Hey, Dad, you know what? I hate the way you did me when I was in 20. You didn't give me the love I needed. Well, because one, at the time, I wasn't in God. Because God is love.
Right.
So where was I lacking? Now I'm 65, and now, damn, I want to give love now? So that kid gonna remember that, because you never planted the seed.
Right.
It's a seed plant. I see what you're doing with CT. It's an amazing thing.
Brother. I'm trying.
He's getting it because you're planting those seeds. And yeah, you're gonna be hard on them.
But it's the conversations in the car, man.
See? Yeah.
And that's where it starts.
Yeah.
You know, every day from school, his mom or myself will ask him, what did you learn in school today? And did you get closer to your dream or your goal? And we wrote it down. I think that every parent should do that. Every parent should write
it down, make it plain.
Right, make a plan. But the biggest thing is, why do you think your dad pushes you so hard? Because he wants to make, they had a show and tell or something at school, and he said, I love my dad because my dad is trying his hardest to make me great. Man, I almost started crying, man.
Yeah, you posted it. I was like, dang.
And to me,
that was great.
It's like a kid's love is a whole nother level.
Because it's pure.
It's a whole nother level.
It's unconditional.
Yes.
There's no sin to that.
Absolutely.
There's no cutthroat in the way that they love it. It's genuine. With the last part of how you're dealing with CT and his growth and your daughter's growth.
Yeah.
What's next for Rharebreed? What's next for Robert Bourne? What's next that you feel that God is moving you into?
Okay. I try not to talk about my moves too much. But
Not in a sense of what are you getting ready to do?
Oh, okay.
I mean, we both watch Scarface, and he said, "Don't tell your next move."
Yeah.
Tony Montana, don't tell your next move. But what is God moving you to?
Education.
Okay.
I'll tell it. I'm really thinking about making Rharebreed a charter school. And I just feel that with the wisdom, with the good heart that a lot of our men in our training company have, if you give us a kid 6 hours a day, like some of these companies have, not only are we making them better people, we'll make them explosive mentally and physically, and make them better people in this world, period. So that is definitely a desire of my heart right now.
Yeah.
But, you know, it's in God's hands. I ain't rushing it, man. I'm not rushing it.
It's in God's hands and you're not rushing it. So that is a vision.
That's a vision of mine, yeah.
Have you wrote it down, made it plain?
Already making steps towards it, to be honest with you. And then also just becoming a better family man.
Yeah.
And being there for my son and my daughter. My daughter's a dancer. I don't like dancing.
My daughter is too.
It's the way they move their body, and I'm just like, man.
Well, you know they're giving scholarships out for dancing now.
I know, man. And I'll
you
be
see
like,
the girl from Rancho, she's at LSU.
Right.
What's her name, sister?
Malik's
sister. Yeah, I ran into her. I said, what? You got a scholarship?
Yeah, they giving scholarships.
Yeah,
man.
they're doing that now.
But it's just a lot for my little girl is 5, bro. I just be like,
Well, you ain't been to Vegas. I've been to Vegas. I've been to Montclair. I've been to Arizona for tournament. Man,
It's serious. And
bro.
it's expensive.
Yeah, it is.
I mean, but she has passion in it.
Yeah.
And that's all we want from our kids is to find passion in something and go at it.
Yeah.
So I deliver. You know, I pay for it, man. So, but overall, the vision is to keep every year just having more growth and helping as many kids as we can and get them to their full potential, man.
Yeah.
That's
because everybody's not gonna make it.
everybody not gonna make it. Nope.
You know, some of them you're gonna come across at working at Verizon. Some of them you're gonna be at give you free tacos
Chick-fil-A or
at
Chick-fil-A.
Yeah. Everybody's not gonna make it. But if I know I can do and plant that seed
Right.
to see the will of God over their life,
Right.
that means He used me as a servant. I was obedient.
Well, I will say this. So many young men have come back to us that are firemen, that are cops,
There you go.
that are teachers,
There you go.
and they're like, you forget about them, to be honest with you. I mean, I forgot about a lot of them, but when I see their face, I know everybody. I don't forget a face. And then I can remember their name, but you know, we've gotten postcards from a couple firemen like, man, if it wasn't for you guys, I wouldn't have made it. And it's like, hey, T, you remember this kid? It's awesome, man, because now they've taken what we instilled in them to the next chapter
It's all
of their
about
life.
life.
And that's awesome.
Let them live their life, but
Right.
then everybody's journey is different.
Right. Football didn't work out, but I'm a fireman now.
I'm getting good money. I
Yep.
got good 401k. I'm good.
Right.
So that's
to
the only
me-
thing we can do.
To me, if we don't ever win another championship or a tournament, I'm winning.
Hey, I
Anywhere
still own the
look
first
at it.
one. I still own the first one.
I'm still the pylon.
I still own the first one ever Rharebreed.
Yeah.
But thanks, my brother, for being here.
No
Your
problem.
journey is different, and that's what you can tell these kids. You can inspire them even more by their gifts to make room for their success, no matter what it is.
Right.
Be a good father, good parent, good husband, good mother, whatever the case is, because parents come to you all the time. They ask questions.
Yes, they do.
And you give them feedback because somewhere they were lacking what you already have and what you obtained.
Right.
So we can give back as servants and do the will of God. We've done what God calls us to do.
With that being said, you know we got a young 9U team coming up.
I know.
And they won't watch as the OC.
They already hit me, man.
Hey, we about to start it over
They
again.
about to be
'cause
stupid.
Them boys is talented.
I know. They already hit me. They
yeah.
came to the game the other day. Ed won the game. I was like, wow, she's still good? I'm like,
That team is talented, man.
Yeah.
I really think that they're going to do some big things.
Well, whatever God calls me to do, you know how I am. I'm very let's sit back. Watch everything. I'm the same. I don't change. I love people. You know, you love people.
Yep.
You know, and to me, I always say this. You can go out there and make all the money and break your back. But at the end of the day, God is your blessing.
Right.
Because that money can't take nothing take nothing with you. When my mom died, nothing went with her.
Right.
But her legacy of her heart
Right.
stayed. That was it.
People going to always talk about it.
It was 500 people at her freaking funeral. I mean, at the really end of the day.
Man.
I mean, these are people that she's taught because she was a teacher in the LAUS school district. And there's parents, coaches, there's trainers, there's all kind of people coming because she did something from her heart.
Planted a seed.
And that's where I learned it from.
Planted a
And at
seed.
the end of the day, you know, God bless you.
Yep.
Keep doing what you're doing.
You already
Love
know.
you. Always, every day.
Yes, sir.
And this is Robert Bourne, ex-CFL, NFL, standout, corner, safety, whatever you want to call them. Rharebreed Academy. My journey is different, and we're out. Bless you guys.